When on the art side of YouTube, you see amazing people making amazing drawings and animations that you truly don't believe you can ever do. Soon enough, you get discouraged and art block starts to set in. But if you go to your favorite art YouTuber's oldest video, you will notice something completely strange. The videos you're looking at are nothing like their new videos. The editing is different, the quality is different, and most importantly, the art is different. Different style, less polished. You can point out so many things that are just wrong. Why is that? Hello, beautiful gremlins. So, I have been drawing for a long time. Pretty much all kids draw, so it isn't really much of a shock that I practically have been doing it since I could hold a pencil. I don't really know when I started to try and draw seriously. I think it was around 2019, but like most people, I started to really try and pick it up in quarantine. And no one is allowed to look at my art during quarantine because it's terrible, awful, no good, very bad. Anyway, recently I have been feeling a little art block, and when I find myself in art block, I find a good way to get out of it is to redraw things. And I also want to do a video about improvement sometime, so 2 birds, 1 stone, I guess. I'm going to redraw things from 1 year ago and then another drawing from 2 years ago, from newest to oldest. So let's get started. Fun fact, I've redrawn this before. Here's the old one, here's the recent one. I'm going to use both as references and hope I do the drawing justice because it seems to have gone through a lot. So one major thing about the old drawing and the redraw is just the pose in both the old, new, and more new is completely insane. In the old redraw, it seems so similar to the old drawing, yet so different as well. It's like it's all squished together, things are a little more out, the arm's more out, the other arm doesn't really make any sense, and the legs are just kind of doing their own thing. And in the newest one, the legs are completely doing their own thing. They are way up, the arm is far away from her face, and like usual, the other arm is just kind of out there. I honestly don't even know why I chose this pose for the newest one. I just wanted to make a better pose, and I usually am not very good at drawing legs. That sounds wrong. I'm just not really good at drawing sitting poses or any kind of pose where the legs are a really big focus. And also, as you know, I cannot draw hands, arms, or practically anything at this point. I tried to just do this in my style and how I would do it now as opposed to just copying and pasting the new one. Also, I am so flippin' glad that I fixed the gosh dang wings. In both the old ones, the wings are kind of just sticking out of the back, yet in the newest one, it actually has form. It actually makes sense. They aren't just sticking to the back and calling it a day. It is actually like how a fairy would have wings. The line art for this was actually very difficult to do, and I have no earthly idea why, but I did use a dark green because I had used dark green in both of these drawings since I drew it. Very poetic, Storm, you deserve an Oscar. And with the coloring, it was actually kind of difficult because obviously I couldn't take the colors from the old one, so I kind of just had to guess and go. For some unknown reason, in both the old ones, the hair is really light to the point where it and the skin tone are like competing for some reason. So in the newest one, I did make it darker. And in the newest one, I kind of switched up a lot of things. It's just so much more vibrant now and kind of more focusing on not just the entire drawing and stuff, but on the character. The background is kind of fizzled out. You can see the girl's expression. It's just kind of, I don't know, more centered around the character, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. I honestly have no earthly idea what I'm saying, so please bear with me. Oh gosh. Also, with the lighting, I did change up the lighting quite a lot. It's hard to pinpoint where the light source is actually coming from in the oldest one. So in the newest one, I knew I had to put the light source somewhere. And in this case, it's just coming from the top right. That's a normal place to put a light source. And I'm pretty sure it's also the light source in every other drawing that I've done of this fairy girl that I don't even have the name of. I do try really hard on lighting now. That is something that I did not do in both of them. And in my old drawings, I like lighting, but it's obviously not something I'm trying to work on or improve on. But in my newest drawings, you can kind of see that I'm really trying with lighting, even though it doesn't really work out that well. Okay, I'm trying, and that's what matters, okay? I'm trying. Now, after all of this, drawing this drawing once in 2021, drawing it again in 2022, it is now 2023 with me redrawing it, and I am unhappy with it. I don't know why, but for some reason, just something feels off about the pose, maybe. It's really zeroing in on the face for me that's off about it. I don't know why. I think it might be the eyes are too far apart. Or maybe the mouth is just too low. Or maybe I'm overreacting. Or maybe I'm alright and this drawing is horrible. I don't know. Either way, comparing it to the old one, it is much better. And no one, I think, is going to look too long at it just to discover every single flaw there is with it. But now that I pointed it out to you, feel free to judge me constantly. I do like the wings. The wings are still great. Lovely. With the old ones and the new one, I swear, they changed so much. And you can tell it's the same character, but just evolved, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it. I guess the new one kind of looks like the second frame in the animation. I don't know why I'm describing it like that. It just kind of looks like it for some reason. I like how in the very original of this, the girl was so lanky, and in the first redraw, I made her really stout, I guess. And in the new one, I decided to go back to her lanky roots because I knew I wanted to make her lanky. In the first redraw, I didn't know how to make lanky characters anymore. So I basically was just trying to make my younger self happy, I guess. I would really want to show this to her, actually, to just see what she thinks of it. She'll probably point out the flaws just like I am, but you know, whatever. I am super happy, though, with how this turned out, and I really hope you see the evolution of this character over the years. She'll see you next time in 2024, I guess. The next drawing is a drawing of Lynn. I almost said Lynn Cinder. What the heck is wrong with me? The next drawing is fan art of Lynn's song from the Keeper of the Lost City series. And fun fact, this is some of the first fan art I did for this series. So that's pretty cool considering it's taken over my life since then. Anyway, enough with the backstory. Let's get into drawing. Also, I want to apologize for not recording any part of the drawing process. I thought that I recorded the line art, but turns out I didn't. Then I thought that I would record the coloring or rendering process, but then I got so nervous about it, I just didn't. So now you get a really slow time lapse. So I am so sorry that you have to go through that. So, in the first drawing, that pose, gosh dang it. It does not make any sense. First off, the leg is like drooping. Second off, it does not connect to the bum area. Third off, her thigh is so long, it must have like 5 million joints inside. The arm is kind of like weird about it because it's going into the middle of her non-existent thigh. The other arm is fine, but still, gosh dang it. Her body is just so long and weird. Her belt isn't even at the waist. And her head's fine. Her head is the only thing that turned out good, apparently, in this. Because, oh my gosh, this is such a broken body. I'm scared of it. Oh wait, her head isn't even that good because her face is so long. What the crap? Anyway, So I obviously had to change all of that. I tried to make the legs make more sense. I tried to actually do good on the head. And also with the arm, I decided to actually put it more on the foot instead of it going through and just hanging off. Because, I mean, the arm has to go somewhere. I don't want the hand to just grab onto nothing, you know? The other arm is behind her back because, one, I did not want to draw the other hand, and two, it just feels more animated for some reason. It feels like the pose is more, I guess. Like, I am so flipping glad that I changed the pose. I was trying to basically do the same pose that the old drawing is in when I was redrawing, and I was like, I cannot do this. It looks horrendous, so I had to start all over. Because, gosh dang, what the heck? Anyway, the line art with this surprisingly went off without a hitch. I actually really, really like it. In some areas it's thin, in some areas it's thick, and I just love the balance I was able to do. Like, why couldn't I have done that again with any other flippin' drawing? I'm really happy with this one. It's probably like my favorite out of all of these. Except the hand. Don't look at the hand, guys. I like how she's looking up now instead of down. That is obviously very, very, very symbolic, and you should try and figure out why I did that. With the coloring, I originally wasn't actually going to change her outfit that much, but then I was like, no, I want to change her outfit because, again, I could not with the horrendousness of that pose. And the outfit was kind of just basic to me, so I took some inspiration from the outfit. Like, the collar of the tunic actually kind of goes down in the new drawing like it did in the old drawing. There is an undershirt and all that fun jazz. And since Lynn is a really calming and beautiful and magical and goddess-like character in this series, I decided that instead of purple, I would actually give her more blues and pinks because, fun fact, those colors are actually very calming colors that you can use. And also, it's pretty symbolic of her abilities as a hydrokinetic. Now, that's not to say purple is not a common color because it actually is. But I decided with blue instead. And I really, really, really like the color scheme of this. I also like how I did her hair in the new one compared to the old one. The old hair is just so flat, and the new one I feel like has way more volume, and I also really like the tips I did in the new one compared to the old one, because like the old one, it just looked like a thing that I just added really quickly because I forgot them or something. And then with the new one, it actually looks like I put thought into where they were gonna go, I guess. So I just really like it. I kept the light source the exact same because in the original, the light source is above her. However, it doesn't look it because I can't shade worth crap. But in the new one, now that I've gotten better at shading, that light source is above her and you can see that it is. So thank goodness gracious great balls of fire that I was able to finally accomplish what I was trying to accomplish in the old one. In the last redraw with the fairy girl, the first redraw I did of that drawing is actually up on my channel as a speed paint. And in the description of the speed paint, I said something along the lines of, it's like my art style went squish. And I feel like this drawing is just a prime example of what I meant when I said that sentence. Because like, you can seriously take the old drawing and just squish it down, and it will be in the same proportions. That's not actually what it would do, but I mean, you can see that what I mean there, right? I hope you do. Otherwise, I'm rambling and look insane. With this one, I really was trying to take the old one and amplifying it to its full potential, so I hope I accomplished that. Otherwise, I'll be sad. I am super, super happy with the finished product of this one. It is so good, and I love it so much because I feel like I was really good at like taking what it was and making it what it is. That made no sense, but it was really poetic. I'm sorry. Just ignore the hands and it will make perfect sense. Don't worry. Now, comparing and contrasting the old one with the new one, they don't look similar, like at all. They're sitting, that's similar. They're both Lynn, that's similar. Other than that, I can see that it was inspired by the old one, but the new one is just so different. Like, different colors, different proportions, different everything. And I don't think that's a bad thing. at all. But it's really interesting to just see the evolution of it. And it's strange because I remember the old drawing and actually being pretty proud of it. And now I'm just like, this is the most horrible thing I've ever done. What was I thinking? But I hope you guys like the new one as much as I do. Otherwise, this was all for nothing. So, this drawing was made when I was getting started drawing humans. And as you can see, it's pretty, well, not good. Yeah, it's not good at all. So let's fix that, shall we? So with the pose, I originally wanted those leads to go out like in the new version, but I just could not figure out for the life of me how to do that. So I just made her in a standard standing pose. So to make my younger self happy, I did actually try to accomplish the leads going out, posing like this girl is having such a fun time. And it's just, I feel so much more liveliness in the second pose. And it's just so lovely to see her having a good time, I guess. That's kind of weird to say because with the fairy girl, she is just a fairy girl. And with Lynn, she is not my character. So I don't feel that much attachment to either of them. Yet seeing this girl who has a name and a backstory and all that, I don't know if I want to continuously call her the girl or this girl. So I'm just going to come up with a nickname because I mean, she's from a story that, like, I don't want to spoil. I'll call her Issa. With Issa, she's a character that means a lot to me. So just seeing her be happy from, like, the old one where it was just so silly and standard, it's actually pretty lovely. I don't know why I'm getting so emotional over this one specifically. It's just when I started to draw humans, I guess. And also, I've loved the amplification of the line art and the line weight and all that stuff. The coloring is basically the exact same because I loved the colors in the old one, and she has an eye on her shirt. I did not put an eye on her shirt. What the heck? Don't worry, it's covered up by the hair, guys. It's covered up by the hair. Of course there's an eye. It's just covered up by the hair. Anyway, since the old one did not have lighting, I really tried to do lighting from the top right corner again. And I'm really happy with how the lighting turned out with this one. It feels like she's so on a stage and just having the best time ever. Like, Issa is such a fun-loving character, and I just love how she's able to actually have fun instead of me drawing her in such a stiff pose. I don't want to be too hard on myself because at the time I was trying my hardest, and I'm just happy that now when I try my hardest, my characters have a good time. I just wanted to kind of make the new one more interesting to show off her personality more and just more animated, to say the least. And like, it's weird because you look at the old one and you look at the new one and you can tell that's the same character because it's the same colors and hairstyle, but at the end of the day, it does not look similar at all. On the clothing, it looks like it's actually on her body instead of something I just plastered on for some reason. And it's just lovely. Like, I don't know why I'm getting so emotional over this piece specifically. It's just so lovely to see. Because when I started drawing humans, I thought I could never, ever do it. I thought I was the most horrendous artist ever. I thought that it was horrible. I should just stick to drawing wolves and dragons because that's all I've known. And I should not be trying anything new. And I am so glad that I continue to push onward and continue to draw humans. Because now, that's all I draw. I draw dragons too, but that's pretty much all I draw is humans. And I just like how I was able to just keep going, even though I hated myself and what I did. And I think this drawing is the thing that tells me the most how important it was to keep going and keep pushing through. I mean, when comparing the two, it's just so weird because they're obviously the same, but they're just so different. Also, I like how my hands didn't improve over the years. They just kind of evolved. They aren't better, but they aren't the same. It's just really funny to me for no reason. It's interesting to see all the improvement I have made in just a few years, especially since I can't really see the good stuff in my art anymore. When I made these, I thought they were actually very good and showed them to everyone. But now when I draw something, even though it's better than the old drawings here, I find them terrible. Zeroing in on the things I could have done better, changed, or just not added. As humans, we are always growing and changing, adapting to new things, but most of the time, the effort goes unnoticed. It's easy to get discouraged when you see someone better than you, but you have to know all the tears and work they put in to get that far, and all the tears and work that you have put in to get to where you are. You are the best you have ever been at this moment, and you can only grow up from here by learning and trying new things and getting back up when you fall. So please, look back at yourself and appreciate where you are now and what it took to get there and where you are going in the future. I thoroughly enjoyed making this video and drawing all my old art. I get to see with my own eyes how much things have changed and finally be happy with where I am. Even if the bliss will only last a few days, hours, heck, even minutes. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. And if you didn't like this video, give it a dislike and leave a comment explaining how I can improve in the future. Goodbye.